What up, brawlers? Welcome back to Throwing Hands. It's Jacob, per usual. Daniel can't be here. He's in class right now, but I got a special guest, Eddy George, just coming off his second pro win, 2-0. Eddy, how you doing?
I'm good, brother. I'm good. Just chilling, spending time with the fam, enjoying this beautiful day. How you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. So we're going to get to the win a little later, but we're going to start off from where you started off. How'd you get your start in martial arts?
Well, I got as a young kid, I dabbled a little bit in like traditional martial arts. I have a black belt in Taekwondo. But I was more into like wrestling. I started wrestling when I was 13, and that just kind of built me up to where I'm at now. So wrestling is my main thing.
Definitely. So then, you have a black belt in Taekwondo. You have a great wrestling background. What made you realize that you wanted to do MMA for a career?
It kind of just fell into my lap, to be honest with you. When I first signed up with Nick Newell at Fine Arts Academy, I really just did it for like the camaraderie. Like I was just wanting a team, like that team vibe that I missed from having that I had when I wrestled. So fighting wasn't my main goal when I first signed up. I just happened to show up to sparring, was piecing up guys that was there for a while and already fought, and I was like, man, I might be pretty good at this.
Yeah, so you mentioned you wanted a team. You fight out of the New England area. Do you guys have like a New England mentality about you? There's a lot of hardworking people up there. So do you have that type of mentality when it comes to New England?
I feel like I have a very tough mentality. Mind strong. You gotta have a tough mind. I feel people in the Northeast, New England specifically, it's the winters are very harsh. A lot of times people are in like real bad moods from like all the snow, the cold. So it definitely like calluses you and makes you a little bit tougher. I'm from South Carolina originally. I moved to Connecticut in 2014. So I'm starting to get calloused, but I will say being from somewhere where it's very warm, or not very warm in the wintertime, but it's warmer in the winter, to being somewhere in New England where it's like terrible in the wintertime, there's definitely harder people up here.
Definitely. So you get through you start to spar, you start liking this, and you start getting to amateur fights. You only had 6 pro fights, and then you moved to pro right away, only a couple of years after you started. Why was the move so quick?
Really, the game plan was just to test myself and fight all the toughest competition around as an amateur. I took my first amateur fight with just 6 months experience. To be honest, I wasn't even really throwing I didn't know how to throw a jab correctly. I'm just now getting my jab where I like it. But at that time, I took a very tough fight, 6 months experience against a hard guy. Came up with a loss, but I learned a lot. And then it was from there, just another tough guy after another tough guy. And it helped me climb the ranks and get me to where I was able to become a pro sooner than a lot of guys that's been training for like 5-7 years.
Definitely. So then after these 6 amateur fights, you get into your first pro fight versus Giannis. What were your thoughts going into this fight?
Well, obviously, if some people, people look at his record and be like, oh man, this guy doesn't have that winning record, or on paper doesn't look all that impressive. But my mindset is I'm 0-0 and he's a veteran with a lot of experience. And no matter what someone's record is, especially with small gloves, it's a fight, and anybody can get tagged. So my mentality was just to go out there and establish myself early and show them that not only do I belong, but I'm here to take over. And that's, I was blessed to catch him, I think, 21 seconds into the first round and finished him.
Definitely. So you get that win in 21 seconds. You've taken minimal damage. I'm sure you're looking to get back into the octagon very soon, but then boom, COVID happens. How did COVID challenge your preparation, and what were the challenges that it presented?
It was very challenging. I actually had a fight lined up for May, first weekend of May, but because of the pandemic, the peaking of the pandemic, that all got scratched. The gym closed down, but I kept training. I was able to focus more on my solo drills, a lot more road work than usual. I was training more like a marathon runner, 10+ mile runs, and then slowly me and Nick would get a lot of one-on-one work. And then from there, we just built a small team around what will help my career the most. And it's actually, the pandemic's helped my career out a lot, because inside my gym, I've been able to create a small personalized team for just me. I would never been able to have the opportunity to do that if it wasn't for the COVID breakout.
Definitely. So did you feel more prepared coming into this next fight? Like, let's say if COVID didn't happen, would you be less prepared, you think?
No, I would. It's a different type of prepared.
Yeah. You know what I'm getting at though, right?
Yeah, it's a different type of prepared. So I would have definitely been more seasoned in the cage, because I would have had, by this time, if COVID would never happen, I would have had at least 1 or 2 more fights under my belt than going into my second fight in October. But my conditioning, I will say, is better than it's ever been because of COVID. So my conditioning wise, yes, it was a lot better. But for as like cage time, I would have been, probably a little bit better off than I am right now, composure wise.
Yeah, definitely. I get that. So you come into this next fight last Wednesday. What was it like? Was there a difference in the energy because there was no crowd?
Yeah, it was definitely different. To be honest, I didn't know what to expect. It was a little weird because, obviously we spar and like there's not a crowd when you're in the gym sparring, but you still have a faint sound. Like I didn't realize until I was in the cage and I was about to fight. I was like, man, I'm used to like even like music. Like I'm used to some type of sound. So with the fight, there was nothing. Like you could hear a pin drop across the tent, which was different. I loved it though, because I felt like I was reliving what the pioneers of this sport did. Like they used to fight in strip clubs and outside of bars and in tents. And I kind of felt like I got to do that, fighting outside in a tent. And I felt very honored to be able to, see what they felt.
Yeah. So you, against this Mazepa guy, you dirtied it up. You kind of Chuck Liddell'd it. You just dirtied it up, clinched him, and then just went at him and hit him with that elbow. That pretty much finished him. Was that your game plan that you executed, or did you have to change things?
No, my game plan, I really didn't know what to expect. I heard that he was the grappler, but from what I saw, he didn't understand his range. For a very tall guy, he didn't understand how to control his range as well as he should, in my opinion. But at the same time, I've never really fought anyone that was 6'2". So my game plan was just to go in there and fill it out the first couple seconds and get a gauge on my distance and what he was going to give me, because it takes 2 to dance. And after the first exchange, I noticed that I could move in and out no problem, however I wanted to, whatever range I wanted to fight. He actually was the one that kind of stayed in that mid-range where it made for a dirty, clinch fight. I don't know if it's because he was wanting to take me down and then he just wasn't able to overpower me to bring me down or what it was. But I was kind of wanting to stay out a little more into the open once I realized that he didn't understand range as well as I did.
Definitely. So, you get this win. What are you looking to do next?
I was in the gym on Saturday sparring. So I did 8 MMA rounds of sparring on Saturday. So I haven't stopped training. I fought on Wednesday, was in the gym on Saturday sparring. I have a responsibility. My coach, as well as my teammate, Nick Newell, he's fighting for Bellator on the 29th. And we're each other's main training partners. I do for all my camps. He's one of my main sparring partners for his camp. I'm his main sparring partner. So I had a responsibility to be there for him this Saturday. But I'm still training. I'm looking to get back into the cage as soon as possible. Healthy as can be. Why not?
You looking to stay in CES or make that move to Bellator or maybe even on the Contender Series?
As of right now, my goal is CES. I'm signed with them. I have, I believe, 4 more fights with CES. I really want to achieve a CES world title. I feel that would be a great, that's a big goal of mine, and it would be a high point of me to attain it. obtain a legit world title, a CES world title. And then Contender Series is also something that is in the back of my mind, but I know I have till next summer till that's a talk, because I believe they just do it in the summertime.
Yeah.
But so as of right now, it's just CES, a world title for World CS title, and then Contender Series down the road, baby.
All right. Well, that sounds like a good thing to end on. That's all I got. Eddie, where can they find you on social media?
You can find me at Eddy, EDDY, George _MMA. And that's on Instagram and Twitter. I don't have Facebook.
All righty.
No
Well,
drama.
I want to thank you for coming on. That was a good time.
Yeah, Jacob. No problem, bro. Thank you for having me. Awesome talk. And look forward to doing it again, hopefully.
All right. Yeah, for sure. All right. Eddy George, everybody.